Well, hello. You guys, pro tip, do not travel out of Terminal 7. So, I'll confess, I have a new favorite YouTuber, Craig Reynolds.
Oh, that's a nice t-shirt, thank you. Buy it.
He's brash.
Oh, this song f***ing rules.
He's always name-dropping his sponsors and his famous friends, and he's rude to his audience.
Is it real or is it fake?
I hope you get an ad now, even before anything's f***ing happened.
And I have to say, I'm here for it. Which might have something to do with my own issues. And the fact that a reliable way to get me to like you is to be mean to me. Say hi to Dan.
You, Dan.
This isn't a psychological YouTube channel though. Besides, watch enough of a Craig video and you'll know underneath his brash persona, he's actually humble, he gives props to other players all the time, and he's fascinated by drums, just like the rest of us.
Fuck off!
I even suspect off camera he's probably a nice guy, and his on-screen persona is just a persona. I will know for sure if he ever responds to my invitation to hang out. Come on, Craig, I'll let you yell at me. But it got me thinking, Craig's a metal snob, and he's cool. People look up to him. They want to watch him more. And by people, I mean me. I mean, just for some examples of the snobbery, which, again, I'm here for.
And the algorithm will suck up other people's shitty reaction videos. I went on tour, it was really good. I came back from tour, now I've got a sinus infection and I've got a chest infection. All the infections, except not an STI.
But let me ask you, and I'm completely sincere here, can you think of one jazz snob people like? Let me rephrase that. Can you think of one jazz snob who's cooler by virtue of being a jazz snob? Yeah, me either. Well, today, let's explore why. Stay tuned. If you're not familiar with my channel, let me first come out as a jazz snob. The two biggest things I'm guilty of are, in my estimation, number one, saying there's a such thing as a real jazz drummer. We may as well not even use the word anymore. And I cringe even to say this because I took so much pain. Saying Buddy Rich appears on top 10 jazz drummers of all time lists disproportionately compared to players like Roy Haynes, Philly Joe, Arthur Taylor, and even Elvin Jones and Tony Williams, relative to his actual influence on modern jazz drummers. I still get angry comments on videos not even related to Buddy. And the few times my name appears in forums in places like Drummer World, those are the two things that follow me around. But I'll own it. I think being a jazz snob really requires two things. Gatekeeping, i.e. saying some people can participate in the club and others can't, and obscure knowledge, i.e. yeah, that mainstream recording you like, bro, that isn't worth anything. You need to check this obscure stuff. Some extremely popular examples from other jazz snobs. Kenny G isn't a real jazz musician, but Pat Metheny is. This one was popular in the early 2000s. It's called the Jazz Fest in New Orleans, but there's no actual jazz. I like the Joe Chambers Wayne Shorter songs better than the Elvin or Tony ones. Sonny Stitt was better than Sonny Rollins. Are you starting to glaze over already? Not cool, right? Like, you're basically comic book store guy from The Simpsons.
One per customer.
But now, let's talk about metal snobbery. And I'm less well versed in this, but let me give you the two examples I observe. Lars Ulrich either is or isn't legit, and this or that player is either playing their impossible seeming double kick chops live, or it's all totally quantized and edited. It's actually called Natty or Not, like it's judging whether athletes are roiding. And one of my favorite genres of YouTube videos is Natty or Not.
You can see the development most notable in the traps, which is potentially a genetic strong point for him, but also could potentially indicate exogenous hormone use.
Like 6'6 Samus. Watch him here calling BS on a YouTuber.
Come on, dude.
Or Craig lamenting that, unfortunately, he thinks one young metal drummer appears legitimately to have the double kick chops, and hence, we're all doomed.
Watch the fucking feet. He's fucking playing those feet.
Then there are the rebuttals. Here's El Stepario Siberiano playing along with the timer in the live shot so he can prove his chops aren't sped up. In contrast, I want to prove my monster chops are sped up. Then there are the endless disputes about bands that have had 2 drummers. And if you're a metal snob, you probably already know the 2 I'm gonna pull out. Joey Jordison versus Jay Weinberg in Slipknot.
Jay Weinberg. A lot of people say, you're not as good as Joey Jordison.
And say it with me, Portnoy versus Mike Mangini in Dream Theater. And then you have the impassioned entreaties to appreciate this or that underrated player more. Like 66 Samus here reacting to a vintage Mangini clip.
I think Mike Mangini might be the greatest drummer to ever live. I don't know, man.
And I wouldn't have known about this otherwise. Craig and Samus are my good-natured tour guides. Not so good-natured tour guides.
I hope you get an ad now, even before anything's happened.
To appreciate the double kick, blast beats,
I wanna die.
unedited audio, and Lars. Or not Lars. So I think I've arrived at a few reasons why jazz snobs are worse. Think back to high school. Were any of the goths cool back then? No, right? But they didn't care. Then college came, they played in bands, kept listening to music, got more self-assured, cut their hair or didn't, but by the time they're weighing in on who played the better blast beat, or Remo versus Evans, they haven't given a flying fuck what people think of them for almost 2 decades, which makes them cool. It's also the music. It's got, how do I say this? KPIs. Like how fast can they play the double kick pedals, and how fast are those blast beats? Which means competition. And people love competition. Are Jay Weinberg's beats cleaner? Well, we can slow them down and decide. So it scratches the same itch as sports. But it's not just sports, it's also WWE. And I'm not going for some obscure metaphor here. Like, look at Slipknot. It's literally WWE, with everybody as The Undertaker, I guess. Jazz snobs, by contrast, and in my experience, we're always trying to be cool. We were the kids in band in high school and then in music school. We listened to the more sophisticated music and congratulated ourselves on being able to appreciate its sophistication when others couldn't. Like, just a little example. I sent this song to friends who asked me if Caravan and Whiplash was legit. I mean, who does that? Over the years, we became the good kids. The people who thought we were superior because we went to music school and prided ourselves on appreciating ever more obscure aspects of songs. That's my theory, at least. And by we, I mean me again. But there's a fly in the ointment of that theory. Branford Marsalis. Branford is a cool jazz snobs. Back in the 2000s, he said this.
What I've learned from my students is that students today are completely full of shit.
He wasn't trying to impress anybody, he just said what he saw. And Branford got hate, just venom. But see if you think his comments aged rather well.
The only thing they are really interested in is you telling them how right they are and how good they are. Where the idea of what you are is more important than you actually being that.
And I have my theories about why Branford is different. He was born into a jazz family. He never thought of himself as superior. Indeed, jazz gave him a kind of working class pride, a way to differentiate himself from those he saw as stars.
I'm not gonna be a rock star, that's not gonna be a problem. This band could be very big, but I'm not a rock star. I'm a musician. I'm not star material, I'm not here to be a star. You know, I'm not gonna do the things that are necessary to become a star. I'm not gonna say the right things. I'm not gonna have the right smile. I'm not gonna go to the right functions because that's not what my vibe is.
And unlike all the YouTubers today, including yours truly, there were no accolades for Branford for speaking his mind. His life probably would have been better if he just kept it to himself. But here's my contrarian opinion. Jazz needs more people like that. More willing to go against the grain, less concerned with what others think. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please let me know what you think in the comments constructively. And dudes, if you do happen to want to make your drumming better, I've got a brand new 3-video course to help you do that. Just click the link below the player, enter your email address in on the next page. You know the drill. Get it for free. Anyway, really enjoy these. See you again soon in another lesson of the week.